In this video today, we're going to take a look at the Hypercrypt Legion from the brand new Necron Codex. And we're going to take a look at the enhancements, the stratagems, the top units, and most importantly, the detachment rule itself. But before we start, a massive thank you to Games Workshop for providing us the preview codex so we can actually give you this detachment review. So obviously, if you are interested in new codex, any of the new models, because there are some fantastic new models, go check out our sponsor, The Outpost, or go to Games Workshop directly and order your miniatures. So, Michael, without further ado, what is the detachment review? What is the detachment rule?
The detachment rule for the Hypercrypt Legion is hyperphasing.
Yep.
So at the end of your opponent's turn, you're going to pick a certain number of units and you're going to place them into strategic reserves.
Right.
Now, the number of units depends on the size of the game. If it's an incursion game, so 1,000 points, then it's 2 units you can pick. If it's a strike force game, 2,000 points, you can put 3 of your units and you can put them into strategic reserves.
Ooh.
They can arrive then in your next reinforcement step.
Right.
So let's say I'm playing against you, Jord. At the end of your turn, I'm going to pick 3 of my Necrons units, and those could be any Necrons units, provided they're not in combat with you or in engagement range. So it could be like a monolith or the Silent King. It could be something big, and I can pop it into strategic reserves, and then when it comes to my turn, after I finish moving all my models that are on the table, I can bring these guys down either from deep strike or from the board edge because of strategic reserves.
Yeah, sure.
Remember, you do have to follow some of the limitations for the first turn of the game.
Yeah.
Depending on your tournament pack. Okay, so this is very good.
Yeah, it brings mobility to an army that's not fast.
Very fun.
Yeah.
As well. Grey Knights have a similar rule, index-wise, but Necrons can pick any unit, whereas Grey Knights are limited to their infantry and stuff that had the rule. So this is very cool. Very strong on units that have deep strike innately.
Yes.
And if you're looking to run this detachment, you want to start looking who's got deep strike. Because that means you can turn up anywhere on the board all the time.
Yeah.
The Monolith has it.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking about that bad boy in a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, great way of getting around the board. Very exciting and dynamic way to play Necrons.
Yeah. Which
is kind of what we're seeing as a general trend with this codex.
Yeah, exactly. So these are going to be the reigning supreme silver boys.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, Grey Knights. Nice. All right, then. Well, let's take a start with some enhancements.
Yes.
So what have we got going on there?
But before we continue, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, The Outpost. If you're looking for great deals on your miniatures, paints, and gaming supplies, we've got you covered. Their wide variety of exceptional service makes them the go-to destination for all hobby needs. So don't wait. Check out The Outpost today. Link in the description below.
Okay, Dimensional Overseer.
Okay.
Necrons model only. While the bearer is on the battlefield or in strategic reserves, you can add 1 to the number of units you can place into hyperphasic reserves.
Okay, so you could have, if you're doing strike force, you could have 4 units?
Yeah, 4 units. 4 units.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, this one's an interesting one. I don't know whether you'd necessarily need 4 to go back into reserve and come back on.
I think you'd have to get a few test games in, right? Just to see how much you're using it with your armies.
Yes, because you can't be in engaged range of the enemy. So the best unit, I think, for this is maybe an individual unit that can deep strike. So a Hexmark Destroyer is not bad. I like a Transcendent Catan for this.
Yeah.
Because they have inbuilt deep strike. Yes, they can advance and teleport around the board, but they can't charge if they do that.
Sure.
Now we can go off the board and come back on, and actually we don't have to worry about the extra or using one of those abilities for the Catan.
Yeah.
We just know we've got 3 other units that can do it, and we just use that one. They can do it themselves as well.
Yeah, sure.
Rather than having to try and manage 4 units, just separate out and be like, this guy can do it himself, and I have 3 units.
Yeah, I like it.
So it's not bad. It's not bad. The next one is Arisen Tyrant.
Yeah.
And I would argue this is the best one. I covered it in the overview.
Yeah.
But essentially what it does is the bearer's unit can reroll hit rolls of 1.
Right.
On all their attacks.
Yeah, sure.
If they arrived on the battlefield that turn or were set up that turn, then they can reroll all their hit rolls.
Oh, fantastic.
So if you keep using this unit, go off the board and come back on,
you're
going to keep getting those rerolls to hit.
I like it.
Which is, fantastic.
Really
Fantastic. Really especially when we already know we've got all those critical hits of 5 abilities available in the Necron Codex with your Plasmancers, your Locust Lords, and of course all those fantastic sustained hits 2 on Teslas, that kind of stuff. So that's a really good one, and I would look to include that automatically.
Yeah, definitely. I like it, mate. Cool. Next one.
Hyperspatial Transfer Node.
Right. Another mouthful. Yeah, sure.
Each time the bearer's unit advances, do not make an advance roll. Instead, until the end of the phase, add 6 to their movement characteristic.
Right.
This does do exactly the same thing as the Translocation Shroud Overlord.
Okay.
So if you are taking one of those, then maybe you don't need this.
Sure.
But if you can't afford one, then you could stick this on something like a Plasmancer, and now you can advance 6 with your Assault Tesla carbines.
Okay, sure.
And you've got those crits of 5s, which is quite good.
There's one less character as well, actually. So you're basically saving on one less character.
Exactly. So you might be protecting yourself from any of those,
Assassinate or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure. Okay. Last one.
Last one. So this one for me is also one that I will make space in my list for.
Right.
Osteoclave Fulcrum.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Models in the Bearer's unit have the Deep Strike ability.
Ooh.
This is worth any number of points in this detachment. Because any of those units that just don't Deep Strike, sure, they can go off the board and come back on, but it has to be from a board edge.
Yeah.
This now means you can go off the board and Deep Strike back on.
So what units are we looking at here?
So this does work really well on Immortals.
Okay.
I really like it on a Locust Lord.
Oh, okay.
With 6 Locust Destroyers.
Yeah, sure.
Because I feel like that is a great unit that's relatively small-ish footprint.
Yeah.
You can keep popping up and down everywhere, and they're quite short range. So, yeah, I think that's a great unit for it, because you can put it on the Locust Lord.
Yep.
But you can equally, because of the lack of restrictions on these enhancements, you can have a Noble and a Cryptek in the same unit. So you could have this on the unit that gets the rerolls when they come in.
Yeah.
And you could keep Deep Striking and getting rerolls. So you could have an Overlord with Deep Strike on the unit, and then you could have a Plasmancer with reroll hits in the same unit of Immortals, and you could just chuck them around the board, keep doing your good stuff.
I like it.
So yeah, I think Deep Strike and the reroll hits, I'll absolutely make space for those.
Okay, 4 really good enhancements there, mate. So let's move on to the stratagems.
Yes.
And let's see what we can do there.
Let's take a moment to appreciate Colourforge, our fantastic sponsor. Their range of spray paints has become our go-to for making our miniatures come to life quickly and efficiently. The quality and variety of colours they offer are truly unmatched, providing a smooth application for stunning effects every time. Check out Colourforge for your next hobby project.
Okay, the first one is Hyperphasic Recoil.
Right.
This might be... there's a lot of good, really cool stratagems in this detachment.
Yeah.
This one, okay. Right.
Yeah, tell me what it does first, mate.
2 CP.
Yeah.
So it's expensive. In your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase, just after an enemy unit has shot or fought.
Right.
If your Necron's infantry unit lost 1 or more models, immediately after they've resolved their attacks, the whole unit, you can remove the unit from the battlefield and set it back up anywhere on the battlefield that is wholly within 6 inches of your monolith model and not within engagement range of enemy units.
Right. So this is what the one we spoke about in the Necron Codex
Not
review?
quite.
No?
Not quite.
Oh, okay.
We'll get onto that one later.
Yeah, sure.
But there's 2 2CP stratagems here.
Right, and both include the monolith?
Both involve the monolith.
Right, so you definitely want a monolith.
You are taking a monolith. I'll tell you this now.
Okay.
You take the monolith.
All right, so interesting.
This is incredible.
Yeah?
This is incredible. Someone fights you and you just disappear.
Yeah, true.
The next unit cannot hurt you, and you set yourself up for the next turn. It also means that you can then, at the end of your opponent's turn, remove them from the board and come back on because you're no longer in engagement range. So this is a very useful stratagem. It's not a battle tactic.
Yeah.
But yeah, if someone shoots you, this is most effective against shooting, right? Because you shoot this unit, even if you kill 1 model, you just teleport the rest to the monolith.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Get out of dodge, isn't it?
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, really solid stratagem.
I really like that. I think there's so much plays that can be had with that.
Yes.
So, nice.
Yeah.
Next one.
Quantum Deflection.
Sure.
1 CP. After you've been selected as a target in the shooting phase or the fight phase, you can choose one of your vehicles, any vehicle.
Right.
4+ invuln.
Monolith. 4+ invul. Ouch. Well, he's a tough cookie.
He's a tough cookie. This was the major complaint, I think, about the monolith, was all of the other vehicles in the Necrons Codex get a 4+ invuln, pretty much.
Okay, sure.
Now we can have it on this guy.
2 CP, though.
1 CP.
Oh, it's 1 CP.
It's just the 1 CP for 4+ invuln.
Okay.
Including the fight phase.
Yep.
That's good.
I like it.
That's good. Very good.
Makes him even more durable if he needed it.
Yeah. Because you need him to be alive for your game plan.
Yeah.
This guy is very
Would you take
strong.
2?
I would strongly consider it.
Okay, right.
But probably not.
All right, sure. Right, next one.
Reanimation crypts. Okay, this is also first of a kind.
Right.
So in your command phase, for 1 CP, not a battle tactic, you target your Necron's Warlord. So they need to be alive to use this stratagem.
Sure.
For each of your Necron's units in reserves, that reserve unit's reanimation protocols activate.
Right, okay.
How cool is that?
So you literally
triggering an ability
off the board.
on a unit that's not on the board.
That's cool.
That is very cool. What this means is you can take 4 units off the board, potentially, with the enhancement.
Yeah.
Spend this stratagem in your command phase, heal all 4, D3, and then bring them back on the board in your reinforcement step.
It's fantastic.
It's great.
I genuinely
It's
think.
great. Even if you've got like Ophidian Destroyers in the list, them going into reserve still triggers this.
Yeah.
They can reanimate there. So any way of going back into reserves also works well.
Yeah, I actually really like, because what it means is you like every turn, you're just healing that bit of chip damage on all your units and then just bringing them back, even just 1 extra wound on your unit.
Exactly.
Just from going into deep strike and coming back on.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
1 CP to reanimate 3 units.
4, potentially.
For potentially 4 units is pretty mad.
Yeah.
It's pretty mad.
Awesome. I love it, mate.
Okay,
Next one.
let's keep this ball rolling.
Let's do it.
Cosmic Precision.
Right.
Deep strike, just over 3 inches away.
Okay, so
1
you get a
CP.
3-inch deep strike for 1 CP.
Mm-hmm.
So you could 3-inch deep strike a monolith.
Mm-hmm. You can't charge after it, obviously.
Well, you wouldn't want to charge monolith, though, would you?
But what it does mean, Jordan, is you can teleport this down 3 inches away.
Yep.
And then you can teleport a unit to it, just over engagement range, away from your opponent.
Yep.
Yeah. That's good. I like it. I like this a lot on a Transcendent Catan.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. To be, anything. Being able to deep strike within 3 inches is such a powerful ability. We've seen it on Inceptors. It genuinely is such a big thing for mission play.
Yes.
Scoring objectives.
Yeah.
Let alone the damage potential.
Yeah.
And the combos that you've mentioned.
This has the biggest potential for shenanigans in the book.
For an army that wants to, for a detachment that wants to be deep striking consistently.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Pretty good.
Cool. Next one.
Dimensional Corridor. This one we talked about in the overview.
Right.
So for 2 command points, in your charge phase, you can select a unit that was set up using the Eternity Gate of a monolith. So that unit has to only be like just out of engagement range of the enemy.
Yep.
They can now charge.
Okay.
As per the monolith's rules, they can't charge.
Right.
Now we can charge. So if we have a monolith in deep strike, we can set it up 3 inches away from an enemy unit for CP. And then for 2 CP, we can teleport any unit on the board to it, and they can charge as well. They can do a 1-inch charge into combat.
It seems like a lot of CP for that, though.
It is a lot of CP, but that's when we talk about the main man who's going to be in this.
Okay, I kind of was thinking that earlier. I was like, you definitely need him in this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But even 9 inches away,
Yeah.
because you can set up a lot closer than 9 inches using the deep strike teleport, this is crazy good.
Oh, fantastic.
Crazy
Yeah,
good.
I really like it. And again, it's advocating bringing their monoliths into this detachment, isn't it?
Yes.
So awesome. We've got one last one, haven't we?
We have, yes.
So what's that one?
Entropic Damping. 1 CP, your opponent's shooting phase, when they've selected a Titanic model from your army as a target,
Sure.
the monolith, or the Tesseract Arc, or the Obelisk
Monolith.
monolith. So you have to be within 8 inches of them,
Okay.
but all of their ranged weapons get hazardous.
How many CP?
1.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's within 18 inches of your monolith, which is the ideal place for the monolith to be,
Yeah.
because you want to do all the shenanigans, and they shoot it, you just go, okay, cool, you're hazardous now on
Yeah.
all of your weapons.
Aggressors are literally just dropping like flies there with the amount of shots
Yes.
they're putting out.
Yeah, that's what, 12 guns?
Yeah. That's 12 dice.
That's 12 dice.
You could lose all of your aggressors in one.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Damn.
It's pretty good. So, really solid set of stratagems.
Those 6 are fantastic.
2 that are 2 CP, but
I think that
even-
then advocates where we're going to go with the unit
yeah,
spotlights.
but even if you only use those once per game, they're game changing.
Yeah.
So
The points changes. I think the mission play for this one is the best of all the detachments.
agreed.
And also the actual maneuverability and board presence of this is fantastic. So the issue I've had, or I've seen with the monolith on UKTC terrain, for instance, it can't move. As soon as it comes down from deep strike, it's stuck in that location on the board. This means you can keep moving it and putting it where it needs to go.
Yep.
You've got free reign of the board at that point.
Yep.
And screening this out with the ability to just go, I'm going to go within 3 inches of any of your units, you can't stop that.
No, you can't stop it. It's inevitable.
It's inevitable that it's going to come where it wants, when it wants, how it wants. And that's cool.
Yes.
And now for a word from our sponsor, C Studios. They are the experts in providing professional miniature painting services, ensuring your armies always look their best on the battlefield. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or just starting out, C Studios can help bring your miniatures to life. Don't miss out on their quality craftsmanship.
I really like that. This is a really, really strong detachment. Potentially my favourite now, actually.
It is very, very cool.
You've got to expend a lot of brain power when using this army.
I think this is probably the best detachment.
Yeah.
I think for competitive play.
Yeah.
And certainly one of the most fun ones as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So spotlight units, obviously the monolith. I don't think you can really run this detachment without one.
No.
It makes very little sense to do so. So stick the monolith in there. If you really want to, I know there are some avid followers of the channel that would want to put 2 monoliths in, which you absolutely can.
Shout out Manly.
So you could put 2 in. Great anti-tank profile from it with the death rays, and I would always recommend the death rays. The combat's not too shabby. It's toughness 13 with 22 wounds. And of course you can give it a 4-pin one. Yeah. So this is an auto-include, and it's very good.
Yeah,
very
100%,
good.
I agree. Nice. Next one.
Imhotep the Stormlord.
That's what I was waiting for. Imhotep, right. Beautiful new model.
Beautiful new model.
Yep.
His cloak is massive, by the way.
Oh, you've built him, haven't you?
I have. He's very cool.
Okay, I'm interested to see what he looks like.
Very cool.
Yeah,
yes, I think
boy.
I'll be painting him as well, judging by the timeline of things.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Chunky boy.
He's tall.
Yeah?
He's tall,
Okay.
yes.
All
He's tall.
Grown
He's
a few inches.
kind of slender.
Okay.
Tall.
So Peter Crouch. Peter
Sure.
Crouch-esque.
Yes.
Sorry,
and he's got a massive cloak.
Yeah.
Anyway, in your command phase, he gives you a CP.
Which is what you need.
Which is what you need here, because it means in any given turn, you can do Dimensional Corridor and charge.
Yeah.
Because you have 2 CP.
But you need to keep him safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to.
Okay,
He's
sure.
relatively durable.
Okay.
But I would recommend to keep him safe 10 Lich Guard.
Yeah.
Is probably the way to go with him.
Yeah.
Because then they'll be very hard to chew through. So he also has an ability,
Right.
Jordan. At the end of your command phase, once per battle, you can use his ability. You roll a dice for each enemy unit within 12 inches, and on a 2 to 5, they suffer D3 mortal wounds. But on a 6, they suffer D3 plus 3 mortal wounds.
Damn.
That's good.
That's insane.
Because this guy has the Lich Guard. This is the unit you're probably going to teleport to charge with.
Yeah.
Using the monolith, which means in your command phase, like your next one, he's going to do a whole bunch of mortal wounds because he's really close to the enemy. So being able to come in and do all that stuff is going to be great for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I could see an argument for putting him in a squad as a noble with something like a Cryptech, giving the Cryptech the enhancement for Deep Strike.
And using him to keep coming back on and off.
Yep, and then chucking a couple of Cryptechs.
Yep.
And then you can once per battle trigger this because you'll be so durable, you survive, and you've got a bunch of enemy units around you.
Exactly. You can pick the optimal place to put him then as well.
Exactly.
Cool.
And the rest of him, not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad in combat.
I like it.
But it's the CPs, the main game.
Yeah, that's the main thing you want him in here for. So what's the last one, mate?
The Transcendent Satan.
Okay. Right.
Now, all of the Satan are great, but the Transcendent Satan has Deep Strike, which the other ones don't, which means you can keep going off the board and coming back on, and you can Deep Strike 3 inches away, or you can Deep Strike normally and charge. You've got a lot of different options with this guy, and he is scary.
Yeah.
Toughness 11.
Yeah, he's mad.
4 up in bun, 12 wounds, OC 4,
Right.
feel no pain 5+, half damage.
He's tanky. Yeah.
He's good. He's got 8 attacks in combat at strength 9, AP 3, D6 damage.
Wow. D6 damage.
D6 damage, so he helps you with your anti-elites.
Yep.
And then his shooting as well is assault, sustained hits 1, 6 attacks, strength 8 -2, D3 damage.
Fantastic.
So he's excellent in this detachment. And you could argue that any of the Satan are great in most of the detachments, but because of the deep strike ability, he's fantastic.
And he's not an epic hero, right?
Not an epic hero, but is a character. So you can stick that enhancement for an extra unit going into reserve. And I'd do that on this guy. And I'd just keep going with him.
Because he's not easy to deal with. He's got OC4, so he can bully objectives off people, go within 3. Because he was quite a big unit in the index, wasn't he? Like a lot of people using him competitively. So him in this detachment, it makes a lot of sense. I really like it, mate.
I think there's 3 fantastic units there, and fill the rest out with whatever you want. As I've said, Locust Destroyers with the deep strike's nice. Getting Immortals in there for some shooting, and
Phidian
Destroyers have deep strike too. They can go off the board as well themselves. So you could in fact have a whole army that just goes off the board and comes back on potentially. And as we know, Wraiths are no joke. There's lots of options here because this detachment doesn't restrict you.
It's not like a Canoptech-based one or Destroyer-based one.
Exactly. You can take whatever you want, but deep strike units are going to be better.
Mate, I like it. Thank you for running through this detachment with me. Guys, if you have any questions or any units you think are going to be really good in this detachment, put it in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And we'll see you in a video very soon.